Jeff Turner is an entrepreneur and seasoned business executive with more than 20 years experience. He is the founder and creative force behind real estate shows, a partner at Leader Turner & Associates, and the CVO at Zeek Interactive. He's also widely regarded as one of the foremost experts on social media marketing strategy and execution, an advisor to the Social Media Marketing Institute, and a sought-after speaker on the topic of social networking. Jeff Turner, thanks so much for joining us at the HAR Strategic Leadership Retreat in Galveston, Texas. So the main topic this year is the groundswell, and basically what that means for our viewers is really the use of all the various social media applications to harness a buzz, as it were, about a product or a trend and that sort of thing. Give me a sense of where you think HAR is as a real estate industry leader in harnessing this power to the betterment of its members.
Well, I just came inside from listening to Bob Hell talk about the importance of realtor ratings, and the statistic he just threw up on the screen was that for 3 years in a row, 81% of consumers in Houston said we would benefit from being able to see the ratings on realtors before we make a decision. And that's, for me, the perfect example of tapping into the groundswell, allowing the consumer to have a voice, to say, I want to participate in rating that realtor, and then other consumers saying, yes, that would benefit me. And Houston, as far as I know, is really the only association in the country that's making that possible.
We've also rolled out some other applications such as blogging, and of course we've had the member websites on there for a while. And you travel the country consulting various real estate organizations. How do we stack up to some of the other folks coast to coast?
Well, I think it's pretty industry-wide accepted that Houston Association of Realtors is the leader in terms of innovation. And I think it has to do with the vision of leadership first and foremost. They're willing to go out of their way to educate their members about what trends are coming, what they should be doing, what the consumer's looking for. And it translates into products. You know, the last part of today's session is really going to be Houston announcing some of the new products that they're going to be giving out to their members. All of those things came from the vision of the leadership and saying, we're going to participate in this groundswell. We're not just going to stand back and watch it. We want to participate in it. We want to be actively engaged in it.
There still are sort of the social media spectators. Mm-hmm. They kind of get social media, but not to the point where they're adopting it and using it to their own benefit. What do you think it takes to convince, in the case of HAR, a member to hop aboard, that it's user-friendly, it's not going to bite, and in fact there will be benefit? How do you convert them?
I think the first thing you have to do is get them to listen. I mean, at a minimum, they need to just be willing to listen. And I think it's a fairly common thing. Once you begin listening to the conversation that's taking place on the consumer side, you can't help but want to join in that conversation, whether it's to engage on a positive level or whether that's to engage on a negative level, to combat criticism. If you're listening, and listening is fairly passive. Mm-hmm. So for the person who's sitting back, that listening activity is not a difficult thing to do. They're not visible, they don't have to be seen. But my experience is once you get someone to start listening, then they'll begin to engage and they'll open up and they'll see the power of it.
One other thing that I thought was striking earlier in the program is the discussion that, HAR now being the #1 realtor association in the country, once you're in that #1 position, you're subject to the criticism as you are the praise. And we talked about the fact that now, since we're part of the social media buzz, we're going to get a fair amount of criticism,
right.
And it's important not to take that stuff personally.
Well, absolutely. I mean, social media is a complex adaptive system, and I don't want to go into all sorts of quantum science or anything like that, but complex adaptive systems, when a virus attacks, and I'm going to use criticism as a virus, the body either combats that virus and it goes away, or the body says, you know what, that one can actually help me. I'm going to leave that one in my system. And the body adapts and it changes. And that's really what criticism does. Criticism helps organizations move forward faster. It helps them evolve faster. Without criticism, you really just continue doing the same thing over and over and over again. So criticism, contrary to what most people feel, it has to be there. It has to be embraced.
Jeff, thank you very much. Well, along with Jeff Turner, I'm David Mendel, coming to you from Galveston, the site of the 2010 HAR Strategic Leadership Retreat.
Thanks.